The secret that changes everything. Gio's shocking discovery about Emma's true father. The warm summer air in Port Charles carries more than just the promise of romance as Joe Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake navigate their blossoming relationship. What started as a friendship built on mutual support and understanding has evolved into something deeper, something that has captured the hearts of ABC General Hospital fans everywhere. But beneath the surface of their fairy tale romance lies a secret so explosive, it could shatter everything they've built together. As Joe and Emma spend more time together, exploring the depths of their connection, neither could imagine that a simple moment of curiosity would lead to a discovery that changes their lives forever. The revelation that Emma is Jason's biological daughter, a truth hidden even from Emma herself, is about to surface in the most unexpected way. The perfect summer romance. The relationship between Joe and Emma has been a breath of fresh air for ABC General Hospital viewers. Their slow-burn romance, filled with tender moments and genuine connection, has reminded fans why they fell in love with soap opera storytelling in the first place. From their first meeting in Rice Plaza to their recent first kiss after finding out back, every moment has been carefully crafted to showcase the authentic bond between these two young people. Emma, the intelligent and determined granddaughter of Anna Devane, has found in Joe someone who truly understands her. Having grown up in a world of secrets and danger, she's always been cautious about letting people close. But Gio's genuine nature and his own complex family history have created a safe space where Emma can be herself completely. Joe, still reeling from the recent revelations about his true parentage, has discovered that Emma is the one constant in his life he can rely on. When his entire world was turned upside down by learning about his real parents, Emma was there to support him through every emotional twist and turn. Their bond has grown stronger through adversity, creating the foundation for what promises to be one of Port Charles' most beloved couples. A moment of innocent discovery. The discovery happens during what should have been a perfectly ordinary afternoon. Emma and Joe are spending time at her grandmother Anna's house, enjoying the quiet intimacy that comes with a new relationship. Emma excuses herself to take a phone call from her mother, leaving Joe alone in Anna's living room. As he waits, Gio's attention is drawn to a collection of photo albums on Anna's bookshelf. Curious about Emma's family history and wanting to know more about the woman he's falling in love with, he begins flipping through the pages. The albums chronicle Emma's childhood, filled with pictures of family gatherings, holidays, and milestones. It's in one of the older albums that Joe notices something peculiar. There's a section of photos from when Emma was very young, maybe 3 or 4 years old. In several pictures, he notices Emma playing with toys that seem oddly familiar, specifically a distinctive stuffed elephant that Joe recognizes from his own research into the Morgan family history. But it's not just the toys that catch his attention. In one particular photograph, Emma is sitting on the lap of a man whose face has been carefully torn away from the picture. Only his hands are visible, but on his wrist is a very distinctive watch, one that Joe has seen Jason wear on multiple occasions. The investigation begins. Unable to shake what he's seen, Joe begins to piece together a timeline that doesn't quite add up. He knows that Emma was born during a particularly tumultuous time in Port Charles, when many residents were dealing with various crises and upheavals. He also knows that Jason has a history of secret children and complicated paternity situations. Driven by a mixture of curiosity and concern for Emma, Joe decides to investigate further. He starts by researching newspaper archives and public records from around the time of Emma's birth. What he discovers raises even more questions. There are gaps in Emma's official birth records, and several inconsistencies in the timeline of her early childhood that suggests something was deliberately hidden. The breakthrough comes when Joe accesses some of Jason's old medical records. Through connections he's made in Port Charles, cross-referencing dates and locations, he realizes that Jason and Emma's mother were both in the same medical facility at crucial times during Emma's early development. More importantly, he discovers evidence of DNA testing that was conducted but never officially recorded. The weight of truth. As the evidence mounts, Joe finds himself facing an impossible situation. Every instinct tells him that Emma has a right to know the truth about her biological father, but he also understands the devastating impact this revelation could have on everyone involved. Jason's life has been defined by his attempts to protect his children from the dangers of his world. If Emma is indeed his daughter, there were undoubtedly compelling reasons why her paternity was kept secret. Joe struggles with the moral implications of his discovery. Should he tell Emma immediately, potentially destroying her sense of identity and her relationship with the family who raised her. Should he confront Jason directly, risking his own safety and Emma's happiness? Or should he try to find a way to bring the truth to light gradually, allowing everyone involved to process the revelation at their own pace? The weight of carrying the secret begins to affect Gio's relationship with Emma. She notices that he's become more distant and preoccupied, often lost in thought during their conversations. When she asks him what's wrong, he struggles to find words that won't betray the enormous secret he's discovered. Jason's hidden past resurfaces. Meanwhile, Jason has been dealing with his own set of challenges as he tries to rebuild his relationship with his known children, Danny and Jake. He's been working hard to prove himself as a father, taking on more responsibility and showing the kind of devotion that has impressed everyone around him. But the past has a way of catching up with him in Port Charles, and secrets have a tendency to surface at the most inconvenient times. Jason begins to notice that Joe has been asking subtle questions about his history, particularly about events from several years ago. At first, he attributes it to general curiosity, but as the questions become more specific and targeted, Jason starts to suspect that Joe might know something he shouldn't. The tension between them grows as both men dance around the truth. Jason, with his natural instinct for self-preservation and protecting others, becomes increasingly wary of Gio's intentions. He starts monitoring Gio's activities more closely, trying to determine exactly how much he knows and whether he poses a threat to Emma's safety and well-being. Emma caught in the middle. Emma, completely unaware of the secret that's brewing around her, finds herself increasingly confused by the strange dynamics developing between the two most important men in her life. She notices that Jason seems unusually interested in her relationship with Joe, asking questions that feel more like an interrogation than casual concern. At the same time, she can sense that Joe is hiding something significant from her. Their conversations become stilted and awkward, filled with meaningful looks and half-finished sentences that leave Emma feeling frustrated and disconnected from the person she thought she knew best. The strain begins to affect Emma's other relationships as well. She becomes short-tempered with her grandmother Anna, snapping at family members who try to offer support or advice. She throws herself into her studies and other activities, trying to avoid the uncomfortable feelings that arise whenever she's around both Jason and Joe. The moment of truth. The revelation finally comes during a family gathering at the Quartermain mansion. Emma is there with Joe, enjoying what should be a casual social event. Jason arrives unexpectedly, creating an immediate tension in the room that everyone can feel, but no one quite understands. During the evening, a conversation about family genetics and inherited traits leads to a moment where Emma casually mentions some of her own characteristics: her eye color, her blood type, certain quirks and preferences that seem to run in her family. Jason's reaction is immediate and unmistakable. His face goes white as he realizes that Emma's description matches his own genetic profile perfectly. Joe, who has been watching Jason carefully throughout the evening, sees the recognition dawn in the older man's eyes. In that moment, all pretense falls away, and both men understand that the secret is about to be exposed whether they're ready or not. Emma, observant and intelligent as always, notices the exchange between Joe and Jason. She demands to know what's happening, why everyone is acting so strangely, and what secret they're keeping from her. The room falls silent as all eyes turn to the two men who hold the key to a truth that will change everything. Next, we're diving deep into the whirlwind return of Josslyn Jax to Port Charles, where she's bringing back not just memories from her intense mission in Croatia, but 3 massive headaches and an explosive WSB secret that's on the verge of detonation. Buckle up, fans, because Josslyn's life is about to flip upside down as she tries to readjust to the familiar chaos of PC, all while juggling temptations, hidden truths, and prying eyes from her closest allies. Let's kick things off with the steamy dilemma that's got everyone buzzing. Josslyn's undeniable pull toward Vaughn, after their high-stakes adventure overseas, where they faced down dangers that forged an unbreakable bond. It's no surprise that sparks are flying hotter than ever. Picture this late-night strategy sessions turning into charged moments, shared glances loaded with unspoken desires, and the kind of chemistry that could light up the entire harbor. But here's the catch. The WSB's strict protocols are like invisible chains, demanding they keep things professional. And with Jack Brennan lurking in the shadows, his eagle-eyed oversight ready to pounce on any slip-up, Josslyn and Vaughn are walking a tightrope. We've seen hints of this tension building, like subtle flirtations during debriefs or accidental brushes that linger just a second too long. If they give in, and let's be real, the temptation is massive. It could shatter their professional lives, leading to demotions, reassignments, or worse. Imagine the fallout. Secret rendezvous exposed, careers hanging by a thread, and Port Charles gossip mills churning out rumors faster than you can say forbidden romance. Josslyn's always been the level-headed type, but this connection feels different, deeper, born from survival instincts and mutual respect. Will she resist, or will passion override protocol? It's the kind of drama that keeps us glued to our screens. And with Vaughn now stepping into a more prominent role, the stakes are sky high. Shifting gears to the second bombshell, Josslyn's closely guarded WSB affiliation is dangling precariously in the hands of Jason Morgan and Britt Westburn, two wild cards who could flip the script at any moment. Jason, ever the stoic protector, gave his word that he'd keep mum about Josslyn's double life, but we all know his loyalty has limits, especially when family or safety is on the line. Think back to those tense encounters where Jason pieced together the puzzle, his sharp instincts sniffing out Josslyn's covert ops like a bloodhound. Now, with Britt in the mix, things get even more unpredictable. She's got her own history of spilling secrets when provoked, and if Carly starts poking around with her signature persistence, Britt might just crack under pressure. Envision a heated confrontation at the Metro Court, where one wrong word from Carly pushes Britt to reveal everything, unraveling Josslyn's carefully constructed facade. And don't forget, Jason's promise isn't ironclad. If Josslyn stumbles into another perilous situation, say, a leftover threat from Croatia trailing her home, he might decide that breaking his vow is the lesser evil to protect her. This secret isn't just about espionage, it's tied to deeper family ties, with potential ripple effects on the entire Jack Spencer clan. We've invented a new layer here. Perhaps Josslyn's mission uncovered intel that indirectly links to Jason's past dealings with international syndicates, making his silence even more conflicted. The tension builds as these characters navigate trust issues, with every conversation a potential minefield. Fans, this could lead to explosive revelations that reshape alliances and force Josslyn to confront her choices head-on. Finally, rounding out Josslyn's trio of troubles is the relentless scrutiny from her own mother, Carly Spencer, whose questions and suspicions could unravel everything in an instant. As Josslyn steps back into the family fold, she'll be armed with a meticulously crafted cover story, maybe something about a spontaneous European getaway or a low-key internship. But Carly's not one to swallow half-truths without a fight. Expect a barrage of interrogations over coffee at Kelly's, where Carly drills down on every detail. Why Croatia? Who did you meet? And what's with the mysterious vibes? Josslyn will need to tread carefully, dodging verbal traps that could expose inconsistencies, like a mismatched timeline or an unexplained souvenir that screams spy gear. Adding fuel to the fire, Carly's world gets rocked when she discovers Vaughn's shocking promotion from what she believed was a humble custodial gig at PCU to Brennan's trusted lieutenant, replacing the enigmatic Colette Moreau. This twist hits like a thunderbolt, prompting Carly to launch her own investigation, perhaps tailing Vaughn or digging through old records, which could accidentally lead her straight to Josslyn's WSB ties. We've layered in some fresh intrigue. Imagine Carly stumbling upon a cryptic email, or a overheard phone call that hints at deeper conspiracies, pulling her into a web of danger she never saw coming. Josslyn's challenge here is balancing her independence with the maternal bond, all while keeping her secret locked tight. It's a classic mother-daughter showdown amplified by high-stakes secrets, and with Carly's history of meddling, this could escalate into full-blown family drama, complete with emotional confrontations and unexpected alliances. There you have it. Loyal viewers, Josslyn Jax is heading back to Port Charles loaded with complications that promise non-stop excitement. From forbidden attractions to precarious secrets and familial inquisitions, her return is set to shake things up in ways we can't even fully predict yet. Next, we're unraveling the tangled web surrounding Britt Westburn and her bold claims about young Rocco Falconeri, as tensions with Lulu Spencer reach a boiling point that could expose some shocking truths. Diving right into the heart of this drama, Britt Westburn is making waves by insisting she's every bit as much a mother to Rocco as Lulu Spencer herself, and in her mind, perhaps even more so. This isn't just idle talk. Britt's pouring her energy into forging a deep connection with the boy she calls Ben, showering him with enchanting stories from his baby days and answering every curious question he tosses her way. Imagine the scene. Britt sitting cross-legged on the floor, flipping through old photo albums she's mysteriously acquired, her voice soft and animated as she recounts fabricated tales of lullabies and first steps, all designed to weave herself into Rocco's world. Her confidence is through the roof, fueled by a delusional sense of entitlement that blinds her to the boundaries she's crossing. We've added a fresh twist here. Perhaps Britt's even started compiling a secret scrapbook of their moments, complete with doodles and notes that blur the lines between reality and her fantasies, making her efforts feel all the more invasive. Yet, for all her enthusiasm, this bond-building spree is built on shaky ground. As fans know, the real story behind Rocco's origins paints a far different picture, one that could crumble under scrutiny. At the core of this mess is the undeniable fact that while Britt did steal the embryo that led to Rocco's birth, it doesn't grant her any legitimate parental rights. She's essentially positioned herself as a surrogate of her own chaotic design, without the consent or structure that comes with the real thing. This self-appointed role has no legal or emotional footing, yet Britt clings to it like a lifeline, refusing to acknowledge the theft's consequences. Picture her rationalizing it late at night, staring at old lab notes from her shady past, convincing herself that her actions were a twisted form of destiny. During her recent chat with Rocco at Bobby's, she projected this bubbly, affectionate vibe, all smiles and gentle encouragement, carefully curating an image of the perfect maternal figure. But lurking beneath is the darker side, the Britt who schemes and manipulates, far removed from the innocent facade she's selling to the impressionable kid. To spice things up, let's invent a new element. Maybe Britt's been slipping Rocco small gifts, like a custom engraved locket with a photo from his infancy, subtly implying a shared history that never existed, which only heightens the creep factor. Rocco's buying into this polished version for now, but it's a house of cards waiting for the wind of truth to blow it down, especially as Lulu watches from the sidelines with growing fury. That hidden venom came roaring out when Britt clashed with Lulu, hurling sharp insults and veiled threats that revealed her true colors, the side Rocco desperately needs to see if he's to understand the full picture. Lulu, protective as ever, issued a stern warning for Britt to back off from her son. But let's face it, Britt's not the type to heed such advice. She's too entrenched in her obsession. Envision a heated exchange in the shadows of the hospital corridors, where Britt's eyes flash with defiance, whispering promises of continued involvement that send chills down Lulu's spine. This isn't just about motherhood, it's a power play, with Britt using her charm offensive to erode Lulu's position. Adding depth to this rivalry, we've conjured a new layer. Perhaps Britt's been eavesdropping on Lulu's family moments, gathering intel to mimic her parenting style, like adopting similar bedtime routines or favorite snacks to make Rocco feel more at home with her. Lulu's perspective is crystal clear. She wants Rocco to witness this aggressive, undermining Britt firsthand, believing it would shatter any illusions and reaffirm her own role as the true mom. If only Rocco had peeked into that upstairs room at Bobby's during their blowout, the scales might have fallen from his eyes instantly, turning his budding affection into outright rejection. Undeterred, Britt is gearing up for more persistent attempts to stay glued to Rocco, infiltrating his daily life with calculated moves that could push Lulu over the edge. Whether it's showing up uninvited at school events or offering unsolicited advice on his hobbies, Britt's strategy is all about proximity and persistence, aiming to become an indispensable fixture. Think of her orchestrating accidental run-ins at the park, armed with ice cream and stories that subtly paint Lulu in a less favorable light. Eventually, this relentless pursuit might force Lulu to take drastic action, deciding that the only way to sever this toxic tie is by unveiling Britt's authentic, unfiltered self behind closed doors. We've invented an intriguing escalation. Imagine Lulu planting subtle clues, like an old recording of one of Britt's past outbursts, strategically placed for Rocco to discover, planting seeds of doubt without direct confrontation. It's tough to picture Rocco siding with someone who's actively trying to eclipse his real mother's place, claiming ownership over him like a prized possession. That kind of betrayal would hit hard for any kid, potentially leading to a heartfelt rejection that stings Britt to her core. In what could be Lulu's masterstroke, she might craft a clever trap to catch Britt in a moment of raw vulnerability, ensuring Rocco either sees or overhears the outburst that exposes her worst traits. This setup could involve luring Britt into a heated argument in a semi-public spot, like a family gathering at the Quartermain mansion, where tempers flare and masks slip. If Rocco catches wind of the vitriol, maybe through a cracked door or an unintended live stream, On a forgotten device, it might be enough to make him pull away, viewing Britt not as a caring figure but as a disruptive force. To enrich this scenario, let's add a novel detail. Perhaps the trap includes a fake crisis, like a staged emergency about Rocco's well-being, designed to provoke Britt's possessive instincts into overdrive, revealing her jealousy and anger in full view. Such an unpleasant display would likely sour Rocco's opinion, especially if it involves direct attacks on Lulu's parenting, pushing him to choose sides in a way that favors stability over chaos. All of this points to a stark unraveling of Britt's character since her comeback to Port Charles, where her once promising growth has dissolved into regression, screaming for a harsh dose of reality to snap her back. Her actions scream entitlement, ignoring the emotional toll on Rocco and the family dynamics at play. According to the latest ABC General Hospital spoilers, this could culminate in Rocco reevaluating his feelings toward Britt, potentially leading to some unfavorable developments that rock her world. Stay tuned, spoilers fans, as this storyline promises twists that could redefine relationships and deliver the comeuppance Britt might desperately need. There you have it. Dedicated viewers, the escalating saga of Britt's misguided maternal quest and Lulu's potential Counter-Strike is set to deliver edge-of-your-seat drama. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for all the latest ABC General Hospital updates. What do you predict? Will Rocco turn on Britt, or will she somehow worm her way deeper? Share your theories in the comments.